Vice President Sara Duterte is facing a subpoena from the National Bureau of Investigation regarding her threat against President Bongbong Marcos. In the subpoena dated November 25, Duterte is ordered to appear before the NBI main office in Pasay City at 9 a.m. on Friday, November 29. She's being asked to present evidence on the investigation of alleged grave threats under Article 282 of the Revised Penal Code in relation to Section 6 of Republic Act 10175, also known as the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. The document likewise states that Duterte may have violated RA 11479, also known as the Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020. Department of Justice Undersecretary Margarita Gutierrez in a public briefing says NBI personnel served the subpoena at the office of the Vice President on Tuesday, November 26. For her part, Duterte, in an ambush interview at the Veterans Memorial Medical Center, refuses to comment on the subpoena, saying she will have to read it first. In a statement earlier Tuesday, Duterte describes her threat against Marcos as only a plan without flesh. The Vice President believes Marcos is pushing a narrative that she maintains to have been taken out of logical context. In an online press briefing on Saturday, November 22, Duterte said she instructed someone to kill Marcos, First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos, and House Speaker Martin Romualdez should she end up getting killed herself. In response, Marcos said he will not tolerate such criminal threats against him. The Senate approves on third and final reading the proposed 6.352 trillion national budget for 2025. During the Senate plenary session on Tuesday, November 26, Senators approved House Bill number 10800 with 18 voting in favor of the General Appropriations Act of 2025, 1 abstention, and none voting in the negative. Only Senate Minority Leader Coco Pimentel abstains from voting as he manifests that he does not agree with approving a bill due to a presidential certification even without an emergency. President Bongbong Marcos earlier certified the bill containing the proposed national budget as urgent, allowing lawmakers to approve the measure on second and third reading on the same day. Following the House of Representatives and the Senate's approval of the 2025 budget, a bicameral conference committee is expected to begin soon. The Bicameral Conference Committee will then collaborate and come up with a reconciled version of the national allocation for next year. Once reconciled, the bill will be returned to both chambers of the Congress for ratification. The ratified version will then be transmitted to the President's office for his signature. The Office of the Executive Secretary is calling out former President Rodrigo Duterte for apparently trying to provoke the armed forces of the Philippines into going against President Bongbong Marcos. Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, in a statement on Tuesday, November 26, condemns Duterte's remarks, asking the military to rethink their support for the Marcos administration. According to Bersamin, it was selfish of Duterte to call for the sitting president to be overthrown, supposedly so that his daughter, Vice President Sara Duterte, can take over. The executive secretary urges the elder Duterte to respect the Constitution and stop being irresponsible. Bersamin also expressed shock over the former president's shameless call for the armed forces to launch a coup d'etat against Marcos. He then emphasizes that the Marcos administration would not neglect its duties and would defend its legacy before the Filipino people only by lawful means. In a press conference Monday evening, November 25, former President Duterte claimed that there was a fractured governance in the country. Duterte also asked the military if they will continue to support Marcos as he accused the president anew of being a drug addict. Marcos has denied the former president's allegation. The Philippines is being targeted by state-affiliated hacking groups from China, according to the National Intelligence Coordinating Agency. At the hearing of the Senate Committee on Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality on Tuesday, November 26, Panel Chair Senator Risa Hontiveros asks National Intelligence Coordinating Agency Deputy Director General Ashley Acedillo to confirm reports that the Philippines is a victim of espionage. Citing reports from international media, Hontiveros says a Chinese-sponsored telecommunications hack perpetrated by threat actors called APT-40 and APT-41 recently attacked the United States as well. Acedillo reveals that the hacking groups called Chinese Advanced Persistent Threat, or APT groups, are indeed targeting the Philippines.
With the information that we have, we can confirm that indeed Chinese Advanced Persistent Threat groups are operating or targeting the Philippines, whether government or private sector entities. We have monitored some of them, Madam Chair, and again, in an executive session, if required, we can share some information.
According to the official, these hacking groups seek to achieve certain asymmetric advantages without using state resources and providing a convenient, deniable link to such groups. Astudillo explains that these groups are different from the normal hackers because they possess sophisticated skills.
They are differentiated from the normal individual hackers or the disorganized or non-sophisticated hackers because of their resources, the personnel that they have, and the sophisticated skills that they possess. So much so that they are believed to be largely state-trained or state-sponsored or state-backed.
Hontiveros says she and her colleagues will wait for the conduct of an executive session in line with their preparation of a committee report on the issue. The Senate panel ended its probe into illegal activities by Philippine offshore gaming operators on Tuesday. An official from the National Intelligence Coordinating Agency says dismissed Bamban Mayor Alice Guo or Guo Huaping is considered an agent of influence amid questions about whether she is a Chinese spy or not. During the hearing of the Senate Committee on Women, Children, Family Relations and Gender Equality on Tuesday, November 26, panel head Senator Rizo Hontiveros asks if the National Intelligence Coordinating Agency has determined whether or not Guo is a Chinese spy. National Intelligence Coordinating Agency Deputy Director General Ashley Astudillo says they cannot categorically confirm at the moment whether or not Guo is a foreign spy. He says the agency wants to be specific and as accurate as they would like to be in determining such.
As to the question whether or not Guo Huaping is a spy or, to be more accurate, a foreign intelligence agent, it requires a determination of fact, meaning that the intelligence agency to which that trained her, employed her, and supervised her or controlled her, either confirms or an officer of that agency confirms the existence or the fact rather of Ms. Guo Huaping being their agent.
However, Astudillo points out that existing information and data suggest the former Bamban mayor is an agent of influence.
Is she an agent of influence? We do not have currently any legislation or any convention in our country that defines what an agent of influence is. However, within an historical context, Madam Chair, given that these activities have been common, especially during the Cold War, the activities and the facts that have come to light so far in this committee and in other committees, especially in the House, point to the fact that she is, and even in discussions within the intelligence community, there is consensus that indeed she is an agent of influence.
Guo was accused of being part of a supposed conspiracy that allowed an illegal pogo hub in her town to engage in human trafficking activities, among other crimes. Questions about her citizenship were also raised, leading to allegations that she is a Chinese spy, which she vehemently denied. The National Bureau of Investigation previously confirmed that she and Chinese national Guo Huaping are one and the same person. Self-confessed Chinese spy She Zhijiang claimed Guo Huaping is a foreign agent planted in the Philippines. The National Bureau of Investigation says it has information that former presidential spokesperson Hari Roque has left the country. In a radio interview on November 26, NBI Director Jaime Santiago says they received information that Roque may have left the country, but notes the agency has yet to confirm it. Santiago refuses to further discuss the topic as the NBI's investigation is still ongoing. This comes after Vice President Sara Duterte in an online press conference on Saturday, November 23, made an offhand remark that Roque left the country. She mentioned how Roque still left the country even when he originally didn't want to leave his children behind. While Roque's exact whereabouts remain unknown, he regularly posts on his social media and even holds online press conferences from time to time. Roque is facing an arrest order from the House of Representatives after being cited for contempt and ordered to be detained due to his failure to submit documents that would supposedly justify his sudden increased wealth. He is also facing human trafficking complaints before the Department of Justice due to his alleged active participation in the operations of Philippine offshore gaming operator Lucky South 99 in Porac, Pampanga, which was raided in June. Roque is being linked to Lucky South 99 after authorities found bank documents and other papers bearing his signature during the raid. He previously denied his ties to Pogos. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.